Today we're going to talk about the basic hand posture on the machine. Now, when you place your hands on the machine before you start a drill, your hands should be placed in the best position possible. Can you reach forward? Can you reach back? Can you get to the vowels? Basically, you should be able to stroke all of the home keys with very little movement. You should be able to go up, stroke those, go down, stroke those, naturally get the vowels. The right hand little finger has a little bit of trouble. Now that's because this little finger has to stroke two keys in the basic position. I know we have the D and the Z, we're not going to worry about that right now. Just the basic position. And in the basic position, there's two keys for the little finger, the T and the S. Over here, top and bottom, that's the S. Doesn't matter if you're high or low, that's the S. The little finger doesn't have much trouble over here on the left. But on the right, it has to get to the T. To do that from the best position of your hand and the best position as far as it's situated on the machine, you'll still have a little trouble clearing that S. So your hand will move up naturally and stroke it. But for the rest of the keys, you should be able to basically stroke down and stroke down. High or low, doesn't matter, you should be able to get to them. Now, watch. This is a pretty good position right here. And I can go boom, I can go boom. I can get them all. And I don't have to move too much. Now there is going to be some movement, naturally, there is. We're not going to worry too much about that. All we can worry about is how to get our hands situated so we can stroke the most keys, because we don't know what words are going to show up, whether we're going to have to stroke low or stroke high, or get into one of those funny positions to do one of those weirdo strokes, like a final KT, or a final ND, or an initial SB, or KB. Those are a little bit funny. Alrighty. You need to get your hand shaped proper. Having your fingers out like this, not a good deal. You can pull them back and get the lower keys. But you'll have trouble stroking the higher keys unless you come way forward or reach up. Fingers out like so, not a good deal. They need to be curved. You have to get your thumb on those vowels. You got to get your fingers so that they can basically stroke high, stroke low. So you want to be basically in the middle here. Now watch this. Here's a little trick. Don't forget this one. That's what this video is all about, this little trick. Put your hand on a desk. If the meat of your fingertips is hitting just a little bit more than your fingernails, then you're good to go. Depends on how short your fingernails are, by the way. And they should be very short. Still, usually you can hear them a little bit. Now, if I have my hand like this, I can press straight down into the wood here. Straight down. Beginner's mistakes. They want to press with the pad. Not a good thing. You don't want to be going like this. You lose all ability to stretch your fingers. They're already stretched out. They can't go any further. Alrighty. Hands in position like that. Comes right over to the keys. And you're in a good position. Isn't that cool? Right over there. That's basically how they should be set up. Now, this finger, it looks like it's still stretched out a little bit to the front. And that's because it's a little shorter than the two in the middle. If I pull this one up, these two in the middle basically look like they're going down, or maybe as if they're curving backwards a little bit. Just the tiniest bit, maybe. You pull those two up, and that little finger's stretched out. So the position you have to choose is not the best position for the two big fingers, and not the best position for the two little fingers, but sort of in between. The reason is, these guys have set up the keys for a body that hasn't been created yet. Our fingers are not all the same size. That's what they set up the keys for right here, and it doesn't quite work because our hands are like that. So, until they invent a keyboard that really works for us, we're going to have to deal with these keys. And we're going to have to stretch this finger out a little bit so that these fingers are not way up here. See, that's straight up and down for that finger. That's best for that finger. But it really stinks for those two in the middle. So what you have to do is take a compromise. The two on the outside, the little finger, and this big old pointer finger, they have to be angled a little bit that way. The two in the middle, they basically look like they're going down, straight down, or maybe with a little bit of an angle. It all depends on your preference. The more you push forward, the more those two fingers in the middle can't clear those upper keys. They can't get to these bottom ones. The more you pull back like this, the more the two shorter fingers on the outside have to reach up to get those keys. So you have to get a nice compromise in there so that these two on the outside, the little finger and the index finger, they don't have to move up too darn much. The two in the middle, they don't have to move back too darn much. Just a happy compromise. Alrighty. Basically, that's your home position. You got your thumb on the valves, you got all your fingers here basically around the cracks. It'll feel like those two in the middle are a little bit above the crack, and it'll feel like the two shorter ones are a little bit below the crack, but basically they should touch the cracks. Now if you can maintain that position, you're going to be able to write an awful lot faster without any extra effort. And the way you can always check yourself, can you put your hand on a desk like that, see that curve that you have, and then transfer it to the machine and keep that curve. Very beginning students, by the way, they'll take a very simple word like lot, L-O-T, and when they stroke the L, they'll come back like this. Coming back like this. They're trying to pound down on the fleshy pad here. You don't want to do that. Straight down with the tip. When you go like so, you're moving this finger way back. Your thumb can't get to those valves. It's out of position. You'd have to really change the way you're addressing the machine to get to the L and the O. Besides that, these other fingers are out of position. The best they can do is stay up in the air so they don't stroke down, or just continue to flatten out like the others. Either way, on the very next stroke, because you've pulled your hand back, you're going to have a hard time getting to the upper keys. If you stay in the basic position as long as you can, you'll be able to reach the high ones, you'll be able to reach the low ones, and you won't have to move your hands very much to do it. That's a nice thing to know. Make sure you check yourself an awful lot. Keep in position. Slap that hand on the desk. Find that good position here, come on over here. It should be virtually the same thing. Alrighty, this video was brought to you by Stenodrills.com and CourtReportingHelp.com. On another day, we'll have some more videos such as how to sit at the machine properly, hands, legs, arms, back, all that good stuff. How to stroke the unusual letter combinations such as final KT. What to do about the numbers. All kinds of videos. See you later.